All right, we are live on the Coach Eli television network. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight. It is Tuesday, September 28th, 2021. If you're here watching live, stick around for a great show with a great topic. And this is an interesting one, so you're not going to want to miss it. It's, regarding women and how soon do they feel sexual attraction. And I've kind of talked about this before, but tonight I'm going to go on over to Reddit and share the feedback of women or from women regarding this, and it's rather interesting. So stick around for that. If you're here watching on the replay, don't worry. There's tremendous replay value on my live stream. So if you're on the replay, you didn't miss anything that you can't see on the replay. And feel free to comment in the comment section, and I'll respond to you in the comment section as if you were here live. But before we get to all of that, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it absolutely has. There's also been a brand new update to OBS Studio that I use to run these streams. Version 27.1 was released today, so hopefully it runs smooth. So far, so good. We'll see. Let me also check out the back end of all three platforms we broadcast on. YouTube, where we primarily broadcast live at, is perfect. Facebook seems to be rolling well, and we have one person on. Is that you, Claudia? Are you back for another show? And D Live is rolling perfectly. All right, we are good. We are good to go. All right. So I'm going to get right to it tonight because I'm only going to be on for about 90 minutes max, and I want to share as much feedback as possible regarding this topic, especially once I get over to the subreddit where this topic came from. It's from the subreddit Purple Pill Debate, one of my favorite subreddits on Reddit. And the topic is, ladies, upon meeting a new guy, at what point do you develop a sexual attraction towards him? And so this is really interesting. I submitted a topic for the Purple Pill Debate, and the moderators didn't approve it. And they said because I catered the content primarily towards men. This guy seems to be catering the content primarily towards women, and it's a question for women, and they approved it. So I don't know. Maybe because I'm new on the forum, maybe I got the wrong mod. I'm not exactly sure, but I hope to get my question reapproved, and I'll share with you folks the topic I put out there. Maybe I'll do a stream on it. But tonight, we'll be discussing, ladies, upon meeting a new guy, at what point do you develop a sexual attraction towards him? And if there's time permitting, I have another interesting topic posted from, once again, the Purple Pill Debate subreddit. And that's titled, as a man, is it better to be a husband material than having random short-term encounters? Very interesting. I really like the very interesting topics. Primarily in the Purple Pill Debate subreddit, but in any dating forum on Reddit. They've just been very, very interesting. It's really great to hear feedback from both men and women compared to what I feel and what you may feel, right? So let's just get right to it. The topic tonight, well, before we get to that, let me go over to the browser source and just remind you folks that I also personally have a brand new Reddit group I just started last week. I've been promoting this heavily because I really want to get as many people as possible to join. This is the Real Emotional Support, Reddit group. And as you see here on the screen, the actual title of the group is Genuine Emotional Support for Men and Women, Coach Eli, Life Coach. One more time, Genuine Emotional Support for Men and Women, Coach Eli, Life Coach. You can get to it by going to www.reddit.com/r/real emotional support. or just search Real Emotional Support on Reddit. You'll get there, or go below the description on YouTube, about a third of the way down, and you'll see the link directly there. On Facebook, I was going to add it to the posting tonight for the live stream, but I didn't. I forgot. I'll get to that tomorrow. So I will go ahead and share it once again in the Facebook chat. Now the person that was on Facebook is gone. Well, thank you for stopping by. It was nice to have you here for a few minutes. And on D Live, it's just stationary there because the chat just doesn't change from stream to stream. Folks, both men and women need emotional support. But men are getting very little, if any, emotional support at all. And that's the primary reason why I created this group. But I also know that despite the fact that women do get a lot of emotional support from other women, sometimes they don't, or sometimes they just want the opinion of a man, and sometimes men just want the opinion of a woman. And that's why I'm catering this group to both men and women, because we can learn more, working together, with each other. And I honestly think one of the biggest issues men do have is sharing their emotions with women during times that are called for it, right? And this is going to encourage that. There are many things we can discuss in this group: modern dating relationships, marriages. We can also talk about, your business life, whether you are working for somebody else or want to transition into becoming a self-employed entrepreneur. Please come to this group, join the group. Tap the bell so you get all the notifications and start posting away. And as long as you're not trolling, you're not attacking anyone, or you're not hating on anyone, feel free to ask any question, and I myself or somebody within the group will get back to you personally. I have many other mods that are part of this group that are helping me run this, and we will start supporting you and helping you get on the right track ASAP. There's no other group out there like this that is helping people through their emotional hardships, and so that's why I wanted to create it. So join it at r/real emotional support. If you're on YouTube, where my stuff is primarily broadcasted at, go in the description about a third of the way down, like I said, and click on the link and join. And let's get this party started and help as many people accomplish whatever it is that their hearts desire, and to work through any emotional issues that may be preventing them or preventing you from getting what you want at a professional and personal level. All right. So with that being said, let me go back to full screen for a second, and we're going to start off by discussing the topic. I'm going to do a very, very brief monologue and get directly into this Reddit posting because it's very, very interesting. Dion, are you out there, brother? I know you said behind the scenes you were going to be here, but I know life happens and, things change. But if you're here or not here, no worries, bro. No worries, bro. It's all good. All right, so the topic of today's show is: how soon do women develop sexual attraction when meeting a new man? One more time. How soon do women develop sexual attraction when meeting a new man? I've talked about this before, and I'm going to share it again right now. That's why I created a specific show for this, primarily because I want to share the feedback from that Reddit posting, primarily the feedback from women. I'm going to share the male feedback too, but the feedback from women is interesting. And I'll share my thoughts briefly. There's not a whole lot to say about this, but how soon do women develop sexual attraction when meeting a new man? It's either there right when they see the guy, or it's never going to be there. That's the simple answer, guys. Guys, here's the thing. When you first meet a woman, when you first meet a woman and she first meets you, when you lay eyes on each other, within 1 to 3 seconds or so, you both know if you feel that large spark of sexual attraction, which is absolutely necessary for anything else to happen relationship-wise, right? Because it doesn't matter if everything else is there. If there is absolutely no sexual attraction, or there isn't a good amount, preferably a large amount or a large spark of sexual attraction between the man and the woman, it's never going to go anywhere. And a lot of other guys have asked, well, I thought women were more so looking for guys that have money or guys that are a good provider and this and that. Well, to a certain extent, that is true, but that more so held true back in the days of traditionalism before women were liberated. Back in those days, before women were liberated and became independent, right? They were dependent on a man for survival. So they were not as picky on looks. They still wanted to feel preferably a large spark of sexual attraction. But as long as the guy was okay looking and he could provide everything else and he was a good guy, women, were more prone to give a guy a chance back in those days. But now, because women have been liberated, they're independent. I've said this many times, I'll say it again. Women are working, they're going to college, they're getting college degrees, they're getting great jobs, making good money, they're buying their own homes, their own cars, they're providing for themselves. They don't need a man to take care of them financially anymore. They don't need a man for survival, right? So now, because of all that, sexual attraction is more important than ever. So the better you take care of yourself, guys, physically, okay? And it's not just about taking care of yourself physically. There's more to it, the mental, emotional, and spiritual, right? But the first thing that has to be there is that large spark of sexual attraction. Why? Because if a woman sees that you take care of yourself physically, then she's going to more so assume that everything else in your life is in place. You're financially stable, you're emotionally stable, you're, mentally stable, you're just a good person, right? And one of the most difficult things to do, for men and women is to take care of themselves, stay healthy and fit and stay in shape, right? So for those of us that can do it, it's showing that we really care about ourselves more so than those that let ourselves go, all right, and aren't in the best shape, right? And so, nowadays, because of what I just said, because women are liberated, right, and they don't need a man for survival, sexual attraction to a woman has to be there right when she meets you. It doesn't mean she's going to act upon it. It doesn't mean she's going to sleep with you that first night. In some cases, it may happen the first night, okay? But if there's no sexual attraction, if there isn't at least a long hug or a kiss on the lips or some sign that the woman shows you that she's sexually attracted to you, it's not even going to go past a first date. Now, here's the thing, another thing in my opinion, okay? Sometimes you may be in a situation where you meet a woman on a weekend, like a Saturday, you go hiking with her. The hike goes well, and all you had planned was to go on a hike. But the hike went so well, and she wanted to spend more time with you, and you wanted to spend more time with her, then you would probably say, hey, you know what? Let's go to dinner. I'll take you to dinner. Okay, cool. And dinner goes well, and afterwards, she's like, you know what? I really don't want to go home yet. I'm really having a great time with you. Is your place nearby? Do you want to hang out? And if she says that, then if a woman feels comfortable coming to your place, what's going to happen, right? But if it doesn't happen, let's say sex doesn't happen on the first date, right? But you feel it, right? It needs to happen either by the second or the third date, or it just wasn't meant to be. That's the bottom line. What a lot of you guys don't understand is there are women out there that will say, it takes me a long time to trust a guy. I really want to spend a lot of time with the guy to make sure he's the right guy before I even kiss him or anything like that. If you come across a woman like that, guys, in this modern world that wants to put you through the ringer, just say, hey, look, I'm looking for somebody that doesn't have any rules, just goes with the flow. I'm not necessarily looking to rush things, right? But I want a woman that can just be herself and feels free to do whatever feels right without any specific time limit or restrictions, right? You come across those women, they're really just not into you, or they're just not in a good place for dating. So again, this is with no disrespect to men or women, okay? Primarily women here. But if sex doesn't happen by the third date at the very latest, then it just wasn't meant to be. SIFUSMO is here. He says, hey, Coach. Hey, Dion, SIFUSMO, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. SIFUSMO says, the best show on YouTube. Are you kidding me, bro? Why do you think this is the best show on YouTube? What do you think, bro? Why do you think that? We're growing this thing, bro. We've got some good stuff happening on Reddit, bro, and I hope you can join the subreddit soon so I can mod you there because, man, we're all going to go places. You're a YouTuber too, bro, and you can grow. So the link is below the description of this live stream and live stream replay, or you can find the link in the private mod chat behind the scenes. Dion says, that's FSMO. I love hiking for a first date. Yeah, of course, bro. You know why? Because you get to get out in the woods, you get some exercise, you get to have a great conversation with a beautiful woman. And if nothing else comes out of it, at least you got some exercise in and you got those endorphins kicking in. And it didn't cost you any money, unless you go to a regional park that costs you $5 or $10. So that's not a big deal, right? Right? I love going hiking on a first date or taking a walk or something because if it doesn't work out, at least you've gotten some exercise. And it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. You get your exercise in for the day, and then you get to meet a nice woman, beautiful woman, to see if it's going to go anywhere, right? SIFUSMO says, sex needs to happen by the second date. If it doesn't happen on the third, block her. Right, I agree. Then she's playing games. Listen, women like sex just as much as men do. That's the bottom line. And if they are not going to sleep with you by the third date, they just don't like you. And this is not trying to be disrespectful to women or trying to rush into it, right? The relationships that have worked out for me, sex has either happened by the first or second date. It's never gone to the third date. Actually, you know what? The last woman, it did happen on the third date, but that was because of me. She wanted to have sex with me in my car on the second date. But I told her, you know what? I like you. I'd rather do this in a more special way. Let's go away for the weekend and we'll make it more special. Now, she was cool with that. I could tell she really wanted it because she really liked me. But that was because it was my choice, right? But I knew it was going to happen. I knew she wanted it. She knew I wanted it. And we were kind of being a little touchy-feely in the car there, Dion, right? But at that point, you know, if it's going to happen, and I got a kiss on the first date. We made out on the first date. Second date, we went out to dinner, and we took a drive in my car, and she wanted me to pull over and have fun with her, right? I pulled over with her down some side road by the San Mateo Bridge here in the Bay Area, right by the water. And, you know, we fooled around a little bit, but I said, look, let's just wait one more time and make it more special. I really liked her, and that's totally okay in that situation because I'm the man. And it's not that I didn't want her. It's just that I wanted to do it in a better setting. And I also wanted to show her that, hey, I'm not just looking for a one-night stand. I really like you, right? That was more me than her. And then after that, well, man, it was just fireworks after then for the year that relationship lasted. So, yeah. Okay. So we're caught up with the chat there. Let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser source. So far, the new version of Open Broadcast Software, OBS 27.1, is working well. Let's switch over. Let's go to the Purple Pill Debate subreddit. And this is, you know, where I got the topic from. The original poster writes, ladies, upon meeting a new guy, and he left out a word. He said, at point. It should be at what point, not at point, bro. At what point do you develop a sexual attraction towards him? Question for women. Okay. And he writes, It is instantly upon meeting a new dude. Question mark. Sorry. Is it instantly upon meeting a new dude? Takes a few minutes of interaction, a date, 2 dates. I'm curious as to when do you typically develop those feelings? Thanks. Now, Dion, this is a very interesting topic here, especially getting feedback from women. Okay? Here's the first woman that responded to this. Okay? Pretty immediately upon first interaction, if he's flirting with me. If he's not flirting with you, then there's something wrong with him. He's shy, he's timid. If we meet in a very non-sexual, non-social context, then it might take a bit longer before I see him in that light. That's why, like Coach Corey Wayne says, and like I say, you never meet a woman for a first date. Usually you don't meet a woman for a first date during the daytime, at least during the week. If it's a weekend, to me, it's a different story. If it's a weekend, you can go on a hike. Go on a hike like late in the afternoon. Make sure it doesn't get dark while you're on the hiking trail, and you got to time out your hikes to make sure that you're off the trail before it gets dark. But ideally, what you want to do, you take the woman on a hike. The sun starts going down right as you exit the hiking trail. It's getting darker, and then you can say, "Hey, I had a great time. Are you up for dinner or something like that?" Right? Maybe you go to dinner. And if you had a great conversation on the trail, and if you met the woman online, and you have a good idea of how things are going, you might get back in that car and you might just start making out in the parking lot of the hiking trail. If that's the case, I'd say, look, how about we go to dinner and let's go grab some dinner. She'd be like, okay, cool, yeah, right? And then after that, hey, it might end up at your place or her place. And if it doesn't happen that night, it will definitely more than likely happen by the next date. But you gotta listen, guys. You gotta did you see what this woman said? Pretty immediately upon first interaction, if he's flirting with me, that's when she knows if the sexual attraction is there or not. But she says, if we meet in a very non-sexual, non-social context, then it might take a bit longer before I see him in that light. What she's saying is, if you put me in the right logistics, right? If you are a man, I like you, and you arrange this date in a way where sex is possible to happen, it'll happen, right? That's what a lot of guys don't get. A lot of guys don't get that. Yes, that's been my experience as a guy. Women are either attracted or they're not from the get-go. Right! Don't think I've ever talked my way into a hookup or a relationship. I'm going to give you a big round of applause. Yeah, man. That makes perfect sense. That makes absolute perfect sense. Now, it's not about talking your way into a hookup or a relationship, okay? And I don't teach guys how to get hookups. I teach guys how to build relationships. But the process of getting a hookup is going to be similar. Let's be real about it. So just for example purposes here, it's not about talking your way into a hookup or a relationship, but when you're talking with a woman, like on an online dating site, you've seen each other's pictures, you're attracted to each other's pictures. When you're talking on that first phone conversation, you gotta feel her out. If she likes you, you gotta be a little flirtatious with her. Because if she's attracted to your pictures and she likes your voice and she likes what you wrote on the profile, and you know how to hit her hot buttons, you're gonna be turning her on. You're gonna be turning her on that phone call to the point that once you meet, you're already 10 steps ahead. Then all you have to do is arrange a date, in a way where you're in a setting where sex is possible to happen, right? And then boom, let nature take its course. But yeah, you want to flirt on that phone call a little bit. You want to build up to it, right? You don't want to rush into it. You don't want to go you don't want to say anything sexual within the first 5 minutes, but talk with her for 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so, build some rapport, ask her questions about what she does and what she enjoys doing for fun and answer her questions. And then ask her something like, I'm curious to know how important is romance to you. Because I ask you this because I've encountered some women that really aren't that romantic. And I'm a very romantic person. And I just want to be upfront about it because I want to be with a woman that loves a lot of affection and romance, right? You don't even have to say sex. You can say affection and romance. And women know what you're talking about. They know they're talking about the nasty, right? They know, or they know you're talking about the nasty, which is what I'm trying to say. And it's important to note that you can also talk yourself out of one too, right? So once you get the date and once the woman agrees, shut your damn mouth and get down to business, right? I've heard of so many guys talk themselves out of a sure thing, right? When you talk yourself out of a sure thing, that sucks. That happened to me one time with a woman that I might have still been dating to this day. And that's because, there wasn't a lot of affection happening on the first date, but she had just gotten out of a recent bad relationship and she had worked through it, but she just wanted to wait one more time, to see, if I really liked her for her, and she was going to go all in. She told me that. And she said, because I wasn't patient one more time, I lost out on something great. I regret it. I learned from my mistakes too, right? So when you talk yourself out of it, she was a beautiful woman, and she was a nice woman too, came from a good family. Yeah, those ones really stink. Yes, this is why I prefer to say as little as possible. Well, you got to balance it out. You can't be totally quiet, but you can't run your mouth, all night long, right? I think a good ratio, at least when you're first hanging out with a woman, let her do 2/3 of the talking and you do 1/3 of the talking. You got to respond. You got to say, emotionally triggering things that are going to make her feel connected to you and make you feel, make her feel like she can trust you, right? But don't overdo it. I get it. I'm attracted on the first, this is another woman, purple pill woman, 40 female. I'm attracted on the first date or it never happens. You hear that, Dion? You see, these are some honest women here, okay? I'm attracted on the first date or it never happens. That's always been my experience. Same with mine as a guy. My attraction doesn't grow. I agree. I respect this woman. She's absolutely right. If I'm not excited about a second date, I don't go. Ma'am, I could not have said that any better myself. I'm going to give you a big round of applause. That was well said. Well said. Well said. This, if attraction isn't there from the very beginning, it's not ever going to be. Someone else saying the same thing. This is that same woman, I believe. Her name is Lift Sushi Dallas. That's a great name, like Debbie Does Dallas, right? My first coffee date with my man ended up 3.5 hours long. We were making out by my car for an hour of that. Damn. Sounds good to me. That's how it usually works out. When it's meant to be, that's what happens. Good for you, girl. And good for him, too. That's just the way it should be. It should be effortless, right? When two people really feel it for each other naturally, it's effortless. No one's going to have any resistance. Cool. Seems like you're attracted to each other. And she's like, very much. No shit, dude. What kind of a beta response is that? This dude hears that woman say, well, we made out for an hour in my car of that 3.5 hours time that we spent together. And this dude goes, cool, seems like you're attracted to each other. No shit, Sherlock. Come on, man. And she gets back and she's nice. She says, very much. Some guy named Estimator 1313 says, damn. These guys are like young beta boys here, right? They're hearing this 40-year-old woman, sharing, how it happens. And these guys are like, oh, man, I wish I was that guy. Well, you guys can find your own woman like that. Just work on yourselves. Become the best version of you that you can be, and you'll make it happen. You see these guys, man? Let me see here. All right. Let's see. Let me check out the chat real quick. I haven't checked out Facebook in a little bit. Okay, nobody on Facebook tonight, and D Live is clear, and YouTube is clear for right now. Okay, similar story here. I met my ex-boyfriend of 7 years in the bar. Not the best place to meet someone, but okay. I thought he was cute. We ended up talking till 8 a.m. and went out for breakfast. An hour into our first date, a few days later, I was taking his virginity. Oh, wow. First time I laid eyes on my now husband, I thought, damn, he was a mess at the time, though, so it took many, many years. You know what? Sometimes someone comes into your life. I've seen this happen for both men and women. Sometimes someone comes into your life and they were meant to come into your life and just turn you around to be like an amazing person. Not saying that those people weren't amazing people before, but sometimes when somebody that has their shit together comes into the life of someone else on the flip side that's been struggling with some things, can make a big difference in turning their life around just being a part of their life. It's interesting, right? Yeah, I've seen it happen. So good for you. It worked out for you. When I start feeling an emotional connection, sometimes it took a few months because we didn't really spend much time together. Sometimes a week or two were enough. This is Narnia Fox. This is a woman that I would have one phone conversation and try to get a little flirty with her to test out to see how open she is sexually. And she would fail my test because she would say, I don't want to talk about sex too soon. Like when you get women that are not open to talking about sex, I'm not saying talk about it like in a disgusting way, but like, I'll ask like, how important is romance and intimacy to you, right? Well, I really don't want to talk about that. We're just starting to get to know each other. When a woman does that, that means she's one of those closed off women that are going to make it very difficult for you to be intimate with them. And it's just not meant to be. If you ask in a respectful way as a man, how important is affection and intimacy to you when you're getting to know a woman, especially meeting one online, and they're not open and honest with you about it, then I'd let that woman go. It's just not worth it. Those women have lots of restrictions, and you don't want to date a woman that's not just laid back and allows things to go with the flow. If most women were honest, this would be the most popular answer. Well, they're being honest here so far, but I get it. Outside of the internet, yeah, it's a different story, right? If most women were honest, this would never be the answer. Okay. All right. Nope, attraction is instant and has nothing to do with the emotional connection. I would disagree about the emotional thing. I'll get that in a second. The only time I develop attraction over time is if a guy shows me a side that I hadn't considered previously, or if I'm going through a dry spell for some reason. So it's like a backup status guy, right? You can't find the guy you're looking for. So you go to your backup status number one, right? And you hang out with him. You may date him for 6 months or a year. You may hook up with him. It may be fun. There may be some good sex. But he's not really the type of guy you want. You'll keep him around. He'll think you're in a relationship with him. And the truth of the matter is, once the guy you want comes around, then you just ghost him, right? I think that's what happened to me in my last relationship. But anyway. Attraction is instant, or it's not ever going to be there. But let me tell you something. If you're meeting a woman online and you have a physical attraction to each other, and you can have an emotionally stimulating and emotionally bonding conversation, that's going to turn her on more. If she has a physical attraction to you and you can stimulate her emotionally through one phone conversation before you meet the first time, there's a good chance things are going to happen that night. There's your clue, guys. So emotions in that sense are huge, right? I'm not saying you have to have them right away for there to be a physical attraction. But if you have the physical attraction and you bond emotionally on 1 or 2 phone calls before you meet in person, that's when things usually take off like a rocket and it feels amazing. And that happened several times. Nope, I've never been attracted to someone instantly. I can notice someone being attractive, but I can't instantly like them or see them in a romantic way. I have to know them pretty well for that to even start happening. Just to be clear, I'm a guy, by the way. You're a guy saying this? Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Let me read that again. This guy's probably in his late teens or early to mid-20s at the latest. There's no guy in his 30s or my age who would talk this way. They will have already had enough experience to say, hey, I'm not going to sit there and just, wait weeks and months before anything happens with a woman to see if it's there. And then I wait that long. We go for it. It doesn't feel right, so we break up anyway. Nope, I've never been attracted to someone instantly. Really, dude? You've never, been walking down the street and you see this girl, she walks by you, and you're with a buddy, and this is what guys used to say when we were younger. When we get older, we can still kind of talk like this, but not as much. What we would say is, dude, wow, I'd love to tap that. I'd love to hit that, right? Right? I'd love to bang that, right? That's guy. Dude, are you what? Man, I can't believe I'm even reading this, man. I can notice someone being attractive, but I can't instantly like them or see them in a romantic way. And dude, you need to go to your doctors and check your libido, dude, and check your testosterone level, because there's something wrong with you. I first have to know them pretty well for that to even start happening. Just to be clear, I'm a guy, by the way. Are you like a monk, dude? Are you wearing a monk outfit? Dude, this is... I don't know if you're still listening, Dion, but this is absolutely ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But liking and romance has nothing to do with sexual attraction. If you are hetero, you should feel sexual attraction to the opposite gender without them romancing you and knowing you. Yeah, you see a beautiful woman with nice assets, right? On the front and the backside, right? Nice hair, nice smile, nice eyes. And you're just supposed to sit there and say, it does nothing for me. I have to wait around a few weeks and have multiple conversations with her before I even notice what I've already noticed, that she's hot as hell, right? In fact, you should feel attracted to hot women you don't like, would never marry or have any sort of relationship with. They are simply just hot. Emotional attraction is something else entirely. And I've said that before. I've had hot women that just wanted to have one-night stands with me, and I turned them down. And it triggered them. And then they asked me, don't you think I'm hot? Yeah, you're hot as hell. I think you're super hot. then why don't you just take me? Because I'm not into the one night stand fling thing, right? You're a beautiful woman. That's undeniable, right? And by doing that, especially to a hot woman that wants to be with you, but just for, a friends with benefits or hookup, right? And you turn her down. Do you know, number one, what that does for your confidence? And number two, do you know how much more that makes her want you? And she may want to revisit things a couple weeks or a month later, and she might say, oh my God, this guy turned me down for a one night stand. He told me I'm hot, and he still turned me down. I'm beginning to really like this guy now more than just a hookup, right? So yeah, this person's right. Like, physical attraction is physical attraction. You can think somebody's hot without having to do anything. Let's see here. Okay. One of my friends texted me. I'll get back to them later. Maybe you have low sex drive. Yeah, there's something happening there. Maybe he has low T. I think this is some guy that has low T. Maybe he's out of shape, doesn't have a lot of energy. I don't know. But there's just something not right, because any normal, decent man would not question seeing a hot woman and not being instantly attracted to her. Yeah, there's something up with this guy. I think I shouldn't have answered this question from my own perspective. Is this the same guy? It is. I think I shouldn't have answered this question from my own perspective because I'm asexual. Oh, he's asexual. Oh, there we go. No disrespect. Asexual. It is very interesting to hear that people can be attracted without actually liking them. I mean, like I said, I can notice it when people are attractive and appreciate their looks, but I wouldn't describe it as hot because they don't make me feel anything inside. Let me look at the Google definition of asexual. Okay? Asexual definition.
Asexual.
Thanks, Google.
Asexual.
Okay. Not involving sexual activity, feelings, or associations, non-sexual. A person who has no sexual feelings or desires, or who is not sexually attracted to anyone. Why would it matter if somebody's hot or not to someone that's asexual, right? I mean, that... I've seen it all, man. I'm almost ready for a break. We're at 43 minutes. Let me read a couple more, then we're going to go on the first break here. I see. If you're asexual, then it changes everything, I guess. No kidding, it does, man. I'm sorry. This is so unprofessional of me. I need to be more professional, respectful, and mature. When I first heard the word asexual, it was from a friend of mine a couple decades ago. I'm like, what the hell is that? Just the person doesn't have any sexual attraction to anyone or anything. Okay. It's so much more than looks, really. I'm not even attracted to handsome men. I have a type, but it's everything about the person and even the situation plays in. That is bullshit, ma'am. That's BS, because here's the thing. Every woman, no matter what they say, if they're not at least somewhat physically attracted to the guy when they first lay eyes on them, see their pictures on a dating profile or whatever, if there isn't some kind of sexual attraction, nothing else matters. I understand. It's more about the person and the situation, the emotional bond, the mental stimulation. But you can have an emotional bond, a strong emotional bond, a mental stimulation, carry great conversation, etc., be spiritually connected, and have zero physical attraction, and the rest doesn't matter, even if everything else is perfect. The mental, emotional, and spiritual are perfect, and the physical's not there, it doesn't matter. See, some women just don't want to admit it. Some women probably just don't realize it. They just don't realize it. Okay? If you're not physically attracted to the guy, even at least a little bit, or a decent amount, preferably completely attracted to him sexually, if you're not at least a little bit physically attracted to him, nothing else matters. Whenever the booze hits, well, that's a different story. We're not talking about booze here. I discover if I'm physically attracted to him in literal seconds. Right. As long as he doesn't say anything stupid, I'll still be attracted to him. That's why as a man, when you've had the experience I've had with people and with women, and I don't sleep around, I've had great relationships, but I've just learned, how to be cool and calm and patient. And when you're in a situation like this, okay, you can kind of tell if a woman is physically attracted to you, right? Typically what I'll do, if I meet a woman, depending on where we meet, sometimes, in the past, I've met women like in a Safeway parking lot in the evening, in my car or their car, right? If it's that situation, like, you'll know within a few minutes or so if he's going to be there. Within a few minutes, I go for the kiss. Because if she's really into me, she'll kiss me. And if she turns the cheek, it's date over. I'm not wasting any more time, right? We're 5 minutes into it. Regardless of how far I drove, I get to immediately leave and not waste more time. Same with her, right? But if she kisses me, and we hang out for a couple hours, and then we move to the back seat, and, start doing a little more kissy, touchy-feely, right? By the time the second date comes around, then, hey, great things happen, right? It's either there from the very beginning or it's never going to be there. And people that take things real slow, right? And then let's say they end up having sex in a month or two, and then the sex sucks, right? That's going to pretty much end the relationship. Or the woman might keep you around a little bit longer because maybe you're doing other things she enjoys doing, and she'll stick around with you in the meantime until a better option comes around, right? But if it's not there from the very beginning, folks, guys, gals, no matter what you say, it's just never going to be there. What if you met an attractive guy and he said, BB, can I poop on your, I can't say this on YouTube. Can I poop on your boobies? Would that be a deal breaker? Why didn't this get moderated, mods? Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, I would never. Some people are in that fetish where they pee or poo on certain parts of a person. I'm not into that kind of stuff. To each its own. I don't teach that. That's up to you, whatever you want to do. Some weird fetish right there. Very rarely it is instantaneous. Usually it takes a conversation or two. Occasionally it has happened over weeks. Well, here is the thing. If you're talking about online dating, a man needs to take control of the situation, right? A man needs to guide the process, right? Send a few messages back and forth in the dating app or dating site. You ask for the number. If the woman gives you her number with no resistance, she's interested, right? She likes your pictures. She likes your profile. You get her on the phone. At that point, what you need to do is find time where you can talk for at least 30 to 60 minutes. 60 minutes preferably, 30 minutes minimum. You need enough time to get her emotions going and build a good emotional bond. You need to talk about things she likes and what she does for a living, and you need to share what you like and what you do for a living. And then you need to go into as a man and say, I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts about affection? Do you consider yourself to be an affectionate person? I only ask because I've encountered some women that are not affectionate, and I just want to be honest with you. I'm extremely affectionate with the right person, and I'm pretty transparent about it at this point in my life, even through online dating, because I just don't want to waste my time being with somebody that's not as affectionate as I am, right? So if that's a deal breaker for you, I totally understand, right? Now, most women will say, oh my God, with the right guy, my God, I can't keep my hands off. And then she says something like that. Hey, then you're like, okay, great. Kind of sounds like we're on the same page. Great. All right. All right. So, hey, what are you up to this weekend? Would you like to hang out, go on a hike, whatever, right? You go from that to boom, setting up the date, right? The moment you know there's some sexual charge there, some emotional bondage happening there, now you want to meet. And you meet as soon as possible after that. Preferably that same day. If that's not possible, within a few days. If that's not possible, definitely by the coming weekend, or it's just never going to happen. It'll fizzle out. That's just how my experience has been. That hasn't been my experience. Women who have been attracted to me are attracted almost instantly and almost always before much or any conversation. It's beautiful when it happens that way. It's absolutely beautiful when it happens that way. It's amazing. Give me a second here. Okay. All right. We are at, not 1 hour. We're at 52 minutes. All right, folks. I'm going to step away and take a quick break. And then I'm going to come back for another, 30 to 45 minutes max. It's 11:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 8:31 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I want to end this by 9:15 or 9:20 Pacific Time, which is 12:15 or 12:20 a.m. Eastern Time. So let's go back over to, before we go back to full screen, and this is where we're going to leave off here when we come back. I'll probably read just a few more of this posting, and then I will get to this. As a man, is it better to be a husband material than having random short-term encounters? I just wanted to throw this one in there because it was an interesting posting. I came across the same subreddit, Purposeful Debate, earlier today. So, yeah, we'll probably get to that as well during the second segment. All right, let's switch back over to full screen and cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Boop, boop, boop. Cue it up, baby. Cue it up. Cue it up. Do, do, do. Yeah, just a second here. Where are we? Do, 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 do. All right, just need one more. All right, we're going to lead back in with an Ethan Mixell song, and you folks can figure out which one it is. Those of you that have been around know what I'm talking about. If you're new here, you have no clue. But Ethan Mixell just rips the guitar. He's a great musician that's licensed his music to be used in the YouTube audio library for free. All right, so music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll continue when I get back. So stick around, round. We'll be right back. we're about to tear it up with some Ethan Mixel. Get ready for that. We want the energy up. Energy up. Energy up. Here we go. Rip it. Rip it. Rip it. I love Ethan Mixel. Great shit, right? Yeah, rip it, Ethan, rip it, baby, rip it. Yeah. You gave me an itch, Ethan. That's In the Shadows by Ethan Mixel from the YouTube audio library. Same guy that plays the song Double Helix. Maybe we'll play that the next time. All right, let's get back down to business. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on the Coach Eli Television Network, primarily broadcasting live on YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. We're also simulcasting live on Facebook and D Live. If you're on Facebook and D Live and you want to get more than just these live stream simulcasts from the studio, if you'd like mobile live streams that I'm doing almost daily, if not daily once again. If you also want to get pre-recorded videos at the highest quality, 4K, 60 frames per second. I mean, I do have some older pre-recorded videos at 1080p, but all my latest videos from here on out that are pre-recorded will be at 4K 60. These live streams are at 1080p 60, right? You don't need to do 4K for live streams. But got the pre-recorded videos. Also, I'm a monetized channel, so I do have a channel memberships package for as little as $4.99 per month or a maximum of $99 per month and 3 other packages in between. You can get exclusive members-only videos. I have 21 members-only videos already done, and I even have 2 members-only live stream replays because I did a couple members-only streams, and much more members-only content to come, and some more additional unwritten perks for members. You can become a member, like I said, for as little as $4.99 per month. It is totally optional, and that will help support and sponsor the channel. You're going to have to come over to YouTube if you want all of this, right? If you want all this, come over to YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. Subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, and you won't miss anything, right, Ethan? Yeah, baby. Rip it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Dion SAFUSMO is back. You missed a good part of the show, bro. You have to go back and watch the replay to see some of these comments I read, man. I mean, there was even a guy that says he's not instantly attracted to women. He can notice a beautiful woman, but he's not instantly attracted to a hot woman. And then he got called out on it, and then he came back and said, I'm asexual, right? So I guess that says it all, man. But, oh well. Let's get right back to it. All right, folks. Tonight we've been discussing how soon do women develop sexual attraction when meeting a new man. One more time. How soon do women develop sexual attraction when meeting a new man? Like I mentioned in my monologue during the first part of the show, and many others mentioned, male and female, through the Reddit forum I've been reading regarding this topic, it's either there instantly or it's never going to be there, right? I mean, look, when you first meet someone, you lay eyes on them. You either feel it or you don't. You like the way they look. You feel energized by the way they look. They feel energized by the way you look, and it either works out or it doesn't. To anyone out there, male or female, that says otherwise, well, I want to hang out with somebody and, chit-chat for a couple weeks and have lengthy phone conversations, talk about deep emotional aspects and do all that. And then I'll see if I feel any sexual attraction for them to feel comfortable enough to be intimate with them. If you come across someone like that, male or female, it's time to move on. They're just not ready. They're not in a good place. And they're just, trying to figure things out. And you're going to be spinning your wheels and wasting your time if you're on the flip side of that. That's just my opinion. That's what I've seen doesn't work. The other way works. When that attraction is there, it is there. I've said this before, I'll say it again. When I met my ex, Dana, we both had a level 10 attraction for each other. I went and I met her. I connected with her on Match.com years ago. And we exchanged numbers. We had a phone conversation around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And it was such a nice conversation. She had a beautiful voice. And she was so soothing and calming. And I could tell she was feeling it, and so was I. And I'm like, you know what? How about I come up and meet you now for an hour? We can meet like at a supermarket parking lot or something. Are you up for that, or is that too crazy? If you want to come all the way up here now, an hour drive, I'd love to meet you. All right? Give me an hour or so to get ready. She's like, an hour? Well, I got to doll myself up for you. It'll look good, right? Okay. I went up there, and it was instant. I met her. She came out of her car, and we walked around the block of the supermarket area. She grabbed onto my shoulder. She held me so tight, and she was smiling like I'd never seen any woman smile before. And right then and there, all I had to do was just be a cool dude, right? Don't overtalk. Don't overthink. I was just feeling it. Then we went back to her car, and we made out for a while, and that was great. We didn't do anything that night. Second night, sure. But yeah, that's how it happens, guys and gals. That's the way it happens. If it doesn't happen like that, it's just not meant to be, right? Don't you want to be excited about the person you want to be with from the very beginning and carry on that excitement while you're with them? Oh, no, we're going to meet and be all boring, and we're going to build up to the excitement of being in the relationship, right? All right. All right, let's get right back to it. Let's go back over to the browser source and leave off where we left off. We're going to read another 5 or 10 more comments here. Then I'm going to go to the other Reddit posting from the same subreddit, Purple Pill Debate. As a man, is it better to be a husband material? It should be husband material, leave out the A, than having random short-term encounters. We'll get to that in a few. So, this person here is responding to what someone else wrote above. Before much or any conversation, this is so alien to my experiences that I can't even imagine how it would work. For me, being attracted to someone without any conversation is like trying to be attracted to like a table. I guess there are people it works for, but damn, it really takes all kinds. All right, that's a fair point, and let me share my thoughts regarding that. It involves what I just mentioned. Most people nowadays are meeting through dating apps or dating sites, right? And so when you're meeting through a dating app or a dating site, you see each other's pictures, and you know if there's a physical attraction or not, as long as the person, doesn't catfish you and looks the same or very similar to their pictures when you meet them, right? Okay? You read the profile, you like it, they read yours, they like yours. You send a few messages through the dating system, dating app, dating site. Then you exchange numbers, and then you talk on the phone. And when you get on the phone, your job as a man is to try to get to know the woman and to try to create a comforting, emotionally bonding type of feeling. Okay? You want to find out what she thinks of your pictures, kind of, sort of, don't say too much. You don't want to come off weird or needy, right? But if you can kind of tell she's into you, she likes your pictures, she likes your voice, she likes what you've stated so far, getting to know each other first 10, 20, 30 minutes of the conversation, then you want to try to build an emotional bond. Maybe this is what I share with women. I say, you know what? This is what I'm seeking. I'm seeking someone, obviously we have to be attracted to each other. And if we weren't attracted to each other, I'll throw in, we wouldn't be talking, right? We've seen our pictures, read each other's profiles, yada, yada. But I tell a woman what's most important to me is the emotional bond. Because without that, there's nothing really there. It's just all it is a fling, right? And I'm not looking for a fling, I tell them, right? I'm also looking for someone that can carry a very stimulating conversation. And I've enjoyed the conversation so far with you. What do you think, right? Oh, yeah, no, it's been great, right? And then I'll throw in, hey, I hate to ask you this, but, you know how this world is nowadays. The modern dating world is crazy. People play games. And, I want to make sure someone's on the same page with me as well. I'm not looking for a one-night stand, but I'm a very romantic and affectionate person. And I enjoy a lot of affection, romance, and intimacy with the right woman. What are your thoughts regarding that, right? And again, if the woman is really into you, she's going to want to open up to you sexually. And if she does, then you're good. If she doesn't, then it's time to end it and move on, right? If she throws resistance towards you bringing up romance and intimacy, then you got to move on, right? But if she starts opening up to you and says, yeah, I want to meet a guy just like you. I'm very romantic and passionate. I've met other guys and they just don't cut it for me. Like, sounds like you do, Eli. So when are we going to meet? Okay, well, let's meet tomorrow. Let's meet here, right? So I think what these people are saying here is that they've already, gotten to know the person through a dating site, dating app, and by phone, and they already feel some type of connection through the conversation they've had on the phone, maybe through some texting, and they've built an emotional bond. Because, like if you meet a random woman on the street and you're going out there and you're trying to pick up women on the street, which most people don't do nowadays anymore, you're not going to sit there and make out with her right away. I mean, it's not impossible, but I get what you're saying. So I just wanted to clear that up. Information Man Show's in the house. Hello there, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Hey, what's going on, Information Man Show? Welcome to the show, man. Still around, Dion? Anyway, you've been spending a lot of time with your lady lately, bro. How's that been going for you, man? Where do you take your lady when you go on dates, bro? Do you bring her back to your place? Do you go to hers? You change it up? You go to dinner? Do you do hiking? What do you do on your dates? SAF, yes and no, Dion, if you're still around. All right. You can talk over breakfast the next morning. Come on, man. Let's take care of business first, and then we'll talk over breakfast once we're done. I will not be intimate with a woman unless I feel some kind of emotional bond or a possibility of a future, right? It doesn't turn me on. That's why, when I meet someone through online dating, okay, I have a conversation with them by phone and we feel things out before we meet. That's very important. I just can't see it. Again, more power to you. It takes all kinds, but unless the talking works, I have a hard time seeing someone as fully there, let alone fuckable. Well, it depends on the situation. Like I said, if you're meeting through online dating and you've had a few phone conversations before meeting, you're going to have more of a feeling of comfort, emotional bond, and mental stimulation. Then you just meet to see if the physical's there, right? And as a guy, you can prepare yourself, by doing what I just said. Now, if you just, are swiping left and swiping right, and then you just meet up and you really haven't talked or known anything about each other, then there's nothing there, right? I couldn't put two sentences together in front of a pretty woman until I was in my 30s. Wow, dude, you're that enamored and a hot, sexy woman throws you off that much to the point of where, like, you just can't talk? Wow. I haven't felt that way since my teenage years. But anyway, for some people, they build their confidence later on in life. But for the fact I'm 6'4", my love life would have really sucked. Why would your love life have sucked for the fact that you're 6'4"? Oh, I've been talking with somebody on my new Reddit group, Real Emotional Support, and yeah, this guy is getting back to me and telling me more. Great, I'll get back to him later. Maybe this guy will notice I shared my live stream in the Reddit forum, and maybe he'll check it out. All right. But for the fact I'm 6'4", my love life would have really sucked. Looks like you're a dude. That's what women want. That's what women really want. They want a guy over 6 feet tall. Why would your love life have really sucked? That's only happened to me with one guy in college. Didn't work out. Orange pill is best pill? I've never even heard of the orange pill. What the hell is the orange pill? Damn alpha widowed already. Ha ha ha. Okay. Let me see here. This person, the ex-queen BX, immediately upon interaction, I agree. It's either there or it isn't. Orange, Palsy. Orange pill is the best pill. I generally date people I already know. Usually what happens is we start talking one-on-one, and I begin to notice that they are attractive at some point during the conversation. No, you notice that they're physically attractive right away. But now you're looking to see if there's more to it than that. If there's no physical attraction, it doesn't matter how good the rest is. After a few such conversations, it either becomes something, or I spend a few weeks spreading over them, then move on to someone else. BS. You don't spend a few weeks spreading over them. You go on to the next immediately. That's what you're just saying there. Come on, man. Come on. Let me see here real quick. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, my phone is just going off the hook tonight with comments and stuff like that from the Reddit forum, emails. It's starting to get busy for me. This is good. This is what I've wanted. I've really wanted to get busy and really start helping as many people as possible accomplish whatever it is their heart desires at a business and personal level. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. 2 weeks in, normally or around 4 to 5 dates, I'm probably on the slower side. Yes, you are. But it is impossible for me to develop attraction without knowing the person well. That's when I'll start developing sexual attraction. I'll usually sit on that feeling a bit more before actually having sex to be sure. Well, it sounds like you have a bunch of rules, right? And everyone is different. I get that. But you're probably meeting men differently, right? You know, if you meet men at school or at work, right? You know, you already kind of know them to the point of where you know if they're attractive, and if they ask you out and you say yes, and it takes you, 4 to 5 days to be intimate with them, then, you just have some strict rules within yourself that, um, are not part of the natural flow of progression. You see, folks, I believe in the natural flow of progression. I believe things should just happen in the way they were meant to be naturally, right? And if you are trying to control the outcome and you're saying, oh, I'm a little bit on the slower side, it takes me 4 to 5 dates, 2 weeks in normally, and it's impossible for me to develop attraction without knowing the person well, that's when I'll start developing sex. I mean, come on. Who are you trying to fool there? Are you trying to fool yourself? Come on now. That's ridiculous. That's just somebody that's been hurt or jaded or, was just raised to be like very, very strict. Like you want to stay away from people like that. It's not going to work out. Good to see you, says Information Man Show. Good to see you too, brother. All right, we're at 1 hour and 24 minutes. Let me read a few more here, then I'm going to go to the other subreddit posting before I get on out of here. I feel like I'd be the same way unless that first date is lasting half a day. Well, yeah, like I was saying earlier. You either meet a woman at night if you're a guy the first time, or meet her on a weekend in the afternoon and take her on a hike before it gets dark. And, try to time your hike to the point of where the sun's just about to go down right when you end the hike. Then you're in a romantic setting, right? In your car. Then, a kiss may happen. Maybe you go to dinner. Maybe you end up back at her place or your place, right? If it doesn't happen that night, at least you get a kiss or something. And then by the second date, it should happen if you got a kiss or something, like a kiss or fooling around happen, right? The first date, right? If it doesn't happen after that, or by the third date at the latest, then you just got to move on. It wasn't meant to be, okay? So again, I feel like I'd be the same way unless that first date is lasting half a day. I don't know how you develop an attraction with another person so quickly beyond just their looks. Physical attraction is an important part of it, no matter what anyone says. It is an important part of it, right? Some people just take a chance, right? Relationships are about taking a chance, right? If you're attracted to somebody and they're attracted to you, what's wrong with taking a chance, right? How do you think animals procreate, right? You think they sit there and they just all of a sudden run into each other and say, hey, nice to meet you, female dog. Nice to meet you, bitch. I'm stud, right? Let's go and hang out, right? Or do they just find each other and then they just, they just start going at a doggy style? People way overthink this stuff, man, right? Just enjoy life. Let the natural flow of progression take you where it's supposed to go. Throw out the rule book, for Christ's sake. Women that have rules when it comes to like how soon you should be sexual or intimate with somebody, or how soon should things progress or whatever. Women that have rules like that, stay away from them. Same thing with guys. Some guys have rules. It's rarer for the guy to have rules, but some of them do. Stay away from those guys. You want to hang around with easygoing, laid-back, down-to-earth people that are open to the natural flow of progression, allowing things to go where they are meant to go. Okay? Let's see. It really varies for me. I only date people I'm attracted to. No kidding! That's an obvious thing. So technically, I come in already sexually attracted. You're probably meeting people from dating sites or dating apps. Okay, sometimes I get lucky and meet someone in person, and we have a lot of chemistry on the first or second date. But at most, it takes 5 dates for me to let things move past the basics. Well, if it doesn't happen by the second or third date for me or most guys that understand how this works, then you wouldn't get a fourth date or fifth date from any of us. But see, she said here, sometimes I get lucky and meet someone in person and we have a lot of chemistry on the first or second date. So what she's saying there, is this a guy or is this a girl? This must be a guy. I think this is a guy. They should really allow us to put male or female with these usernames. But yeah, typically it's going to happen by the first or second date, third at the latest. If it takes you 5 dates, if you're the guy and let's say the woman is showing you signs of interest and you yourself are taking it a little slower because, you just want it to be the right setting, I can understand it. If it's the woman that's having the resistance, that's a different story. But I don't know of many men that would resist a woman more than one date if the woman really wants the guy and he's really attracted to her. I guess with my husband, it started almost immediately. I thought he was cute and fun to talk to. That's how it works. Big round of applause for that. That's how it works. You thought he was cute and funny. Great combination there. He was probably a cocky, playful, funny, charming, witty, and decent-looking guy. He charmed the pants off you, didn't he, man? Absolutely beautiful. Textbook perfect, like Coach Corey Wayne says. I'm going to read a couple more. And that's going to be it for this one. A person should pass your physical threshold of attractiveness at first meeting. I agree. If you wouldn't fuck them upon first seeing how they look, let it go. Right. Doesn't mean you're going to bang them when you first meet them. But if you don't get that feeling like you want to when you first meet them, whether you do it or not, it's never going to get there. It is a bad habit to try a look past a person's physical body and become attracted to their mind. Well, being attracted to their mind is important too. But you first have to establish if you have that physical spark. Once you have that, then the mind, soul, heart, all that stuff, spiritual, mental, emotional, that all comes into play. Physical appearance should come first. Then character, personality should be the decider for moving forward into actual sexual contact, relationship. All right. I couldn't have said it better myself. Another big round of applause. That was perfectly stated. Dang, I can't even talk. I'm so excited. This is great. Good stuff. All right, one more from this forum. I can be physically attracted from the beginning, but that can quickly fade once I get to know the dude on a deeper level. This can happen after the first few conversations. It depends how quickly those red flags pop up. It takes me a while to let my guard down to build an emotional connection, even if I am attracted. That's because you've been through a lot, man. Aggressive Complex 79. Okay. All right, so you're like 40 or 41 or so, or almost 42, right? Born in 79. That's what I assume the 79 is there for. Sounds like you've been through a lot, man. And it sounds like, you've taken chances before and you've been burned. And the truth of the matter is, this is another thing that my buddy Coach Corey Wayne says as well, is people can typically hide who they are for the first 2 to 3 months of the relationship. Then everything starts to come out, right? So the way that I get around that, because women do the same thing, both men and women will try to hide insecurities, flaws, all that stuff. I don't, but a lot of people do, right? And I know most women will try to hide something, right? Thinking that that's going to get them eliminated. I ask every question possible that could be a red flag within a first phone conversation. And if a woman answers all my questions, it's all good. If a woman overreacts to certain questions, then she'll come out and say, what is this, 20 questions? What is this, an interview? She's saying that because you have asked her a question regarding something she wants to hide from you, knowing that if she tells you about that specific thing, it's going to eliminate her, right? Well, her reaction when you ask those questions, her reaction in that way when you ask those questions should tell you that she's trying to hide something. If she's trying to hide something and not open to sharing this with you at this point on the first phone conversation before you meet, then how do you think it's going to be when you meet her or if you date her? There's going to be a lot of red flags popping up. So you can figure out most red flags before even meeting the woman if you know the right questions to ask in that first phone conversation if you're meeting the woman from online dating. Let's see. Let me see here. One more. Most of the time, I'll know within a few seconds if he is someone I could have a relationship with physically. That's true. Then it's on to non-physical things to see if he's worth dating or not. Every once in a while, though, someone just grows on you. That is true. That can happen. It's rare, but it can happen. This happens way less often for me, but you start picking out things you do find attractive about them and begin your fall. I'm not sure which is better. They are both enjoyable. At least you have a positive attitude, ma'am. This lady's username is Cloudberry Punch. Ma'am, that was really nice and sweet and beautifully stated. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. Very nice. Very nice. I have to read a couple more because this one is really good here. I know I said I was going to move on, but I have to read this. Usually, immediately, I've never experienced becoming attracted to someone over time, though I can become more or less attracted to someone as I get to know them. That's a good point. This lady's name is Novadina. All right, Novadina, you wrote a couple paragraphs. Let's see what you wrote. Give me a second here. If I meet in a non-romantic context, I may not feel it right away. That's why, guys, you got to meet women in a romantic context. That's what even Coach Corey Wayne says. But if I go on a date, I will be able to tell by the end of the date. I was friends with my husband for years and never really considered him romantically because he was older than me and I was wrapped up with other men most of our friendship. So I never really noticed if I was attracted to him or not. Right? Well, this guy was probably just, dating other women and stayed friends with you in a way where he didn't care that he was on backup status. And he was attracted to you because he didn't chase you. He was just cool with you, right? But look what happened here. But then he flirted with me and asked me out, and I had to consider him in that new light. When I did, I discovered I actually really liked it, and I have no idea how I never noticed our chemistry beforehand. Once we went on a date, and he held my hand, and it gave me butterflies, and I knew for sure. You want to know why, ma'am? Because he didn't chase you, right? You called him friends, right? And maybe he was being friendly and nice to you, but he wasn't thinking of you as someone in the friend zone. He was just thinking of you as a girl that he knew and he was cool with, right? But instead of trying to chase you and pursue you, he let you go out there and experience other people, right? And he went out there and probably hung out and banged other women, right? And then all of a sudden, somehow you two were hanging out one day and having a great conversation, and he just looked at you, and he probably said something like, this is what I would have said in that situation. I've known you for a long time, and I'm surprised that you and I, we haven't gotten together yet. And you might say, well, what do you mean? We're just friends. Well, I never looked at you as a friend, in that way. I always thought you were cute. I always thought you were really cool. And I was always curious on how it would be to be with you because you're so much fun to hang out with whenever we hang out, right? Just probably being confident, right? And then she'd be like, well, wow, I never thought of it that way. Well, come over here. Give me your hand. Let's go take a walk, right? And he takes her hand, and she may feel weird for a second, but she's feeling his strength. She's feeling his confidence. This guy is secure within himself. He wasn't pushy. He didn't force things. He wasn't chasing her. He waited for the right opportunity. He let her explore her other options, and then he tried to get with her at the right time. That's called timing. Good job, dude. And it gave her butterflies. Then I knew for sure. Some guys I met online and thought they were hot and good to talk with, and so went on a date with them and even liked them well enough on the date, but just didn't feel the spark. I can't explain what it is at all. It is definitely not all looks, because some of these guys I was definitely attracted to looks-wise, and even their personality seemed like my type. Attraction is weird. Well, maybe you liked the fact that they were smart and they were good-looking, but they didn't know how to trigger the sexual spark, right? You see, part of a guy turning you on goes beyond physical attraction and being a smart guy, right? He could be nerdy smart, but does he have flirtatious skills? Does he have the balls to say, you know what? You're the sexiest woman I've ever seen in my life. And your eyes are just really just doing it for me right now, right? Did he have the balls to come at you in that way? Knowing that you could reject them? Like, did you feel this guy had the balls to take a chance and make a move on you? That's why you were probably with a physically attractive man that was very intelligent, but when it came to his social skills or, his his flirtation skills and stuff like that, he had nothing there. That's why you say attraction is weird. The right guy is going to be a cool, down-to-earth guy, kind of like myself, and is going to seize the opportunity to take a risk and go for the kiss when he feels it's right. This guy probably didn't take that risk. You probably wanted him to. You were probably waiting for him to, but he didn't. And that's why you lost attraction, because he wasn't man enough to go for it, right? Anyway, we're at 1 hour and 40 minutes. Let's go to this Purple Pill Debate subreddit here, and for about 5 or 10 minutes, let's read this. As a man, it should be husband material. This guy says a husband material, than having random short-term encounters. So is it better to be husband material or have random short-term encounters? Is it a better option for a man to be a stable provider and financially secure, have a house and nice jobs? Those are attractive to women, and being a husband material means that the woman wants to have a family with you. Also, having a stable partner instead of stirring of random people removes the risk of getting STDs. That's true. Also, being husband material means you are harmless to society, and as a result, kids will get more stable and less abusive place to grow up in. That is true. So let's see what the comments said. 265 comments. We'll go through 5 or 10 of them here. Give me a second here. Gotta clear my throat, these damn allergies. All right. Let's read the comments here. No, it really isn't. I have met a lot of husband material guys who gladly work late just so that they can prolong going home to what's waiting beyond the door. It is an existence of compromise for a man who is likely regulated to the garage or basement. I will take my existence of freedom to do what I want when I want it rather than living my life pleasing a woman just to get sex. Here's the thing. If you're a husband or a wife that stays at work late on purpose because you don't want to go home to your husband or wife, it means you married the wrong person. It means you didn't do a good enough job qualifying them when you first dated them, right? And then maybe something happened, you two got pregnant and got married for other reasons, okay? The bottom line is this. If you know what you're looking for, you're not going to settle for anything less, right? If you're a guy like me that knows you want a good woman that's reasonably attractive, has a great personality, takes care of herself, has a decent career, is friendly, is sweet, is kind, is loyal, is genuine, and you love spending time with her, she loves spending time with you, and you don't get tired of each other, you can live together, you can sleep in the same bed every night, you look forward to seeing each other after work every day. If you don't have that feeling for somebody every day before you marry them, then why marry them, right? People that are in this situation, they put themselves in this situation. They were never the right fit for each other from the very beginning. So I think you're speaking on your own personal experience here, and this really isn't going to help the topic because, you basically just made the wrong decision marrying the wrong person. No personal attacks. Comment removed by moderator. Well, I wonder what that person wrote. Maybe they deserve getting attacked. I mean, I don't condone attacks, but this last posting here really, wasn't pertinent to the topic directly. Let's see. Describes one of my uncles to a T, calls the separated garage his man cave. No, it's obviously not. Sort of pathetic, right? You work your ass off, pay the mortgage on a house where you are regulated to the worst parts of a house that you are paying for. Guys make man caves to get away from their children as well. Here's the thing. This is really, 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 really pathetic. Okay? Why are you guys getting married and having kids when you want to run away from your wife and run away from your kids. If you don't want kids or don't want a wife, don't get married and don't get women pregnant. Use condoms or be careful if you're going to just have some fun every now and then. But if you're going to get married and have kids, the point of being married is to be there for your wife and to love your wife, her to love you. And if you're going to have kids, you got to be there for your kids every day, at least till they're an adult. And then after that, when they're an adult, you're still their parents and you still care about them. If not, why do it? This is ridiculous. Yeah, why get married and have kids if you're going to build a man cave to get away from your wife and your kids or your husband and your kids? Hello, Information Man, says SAFYSMO Dion. Dion, before we get out of here, I'm going to read a few more comments and we're going to get out of here. We are at 1 hour and 45 minutes. How are things going with your lady? Where do you and your lady go on your dates? Does she go to your place? You go to her place? You switch it up? Do you go bowling, hiking? What do you do? I'm curious to know. You're a 30-year-old guy and you got a good woman. You said you've been with her for about 8 months. The last time I asked a few shows ago. So what do you folks do if it's not too personal? I'm curious. Information Man Show says listening. All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Let's skip these. These are responses to what was already written. Let's read this. Sure, if the financial benefits of a man's stability are the only things attracting a woman, there are issues. Well, that's true. This is not the days before women were liberated, where women were dependent on a man for survival. These are modern days where women are independent and women make their own money, right? And if a woman is going to be with you for just your money, as a man, if you're smart enough and you learn to understand female nature as well as I do, if not, I can help you learn it, you're going to be able to pick up on those women that are gold diggers and the ones that are not. It sounds like this is a gold digger. Sure, if the financial benefits of a man's stability are the only things attracting a woman, there are issues. However, there are more than material benefits to a stable life. And from what I've seen, stable attracts stable. Right. So if you're a good man, you got your shit together, and you're mentally and emotionally stable, you're going to be attracted to similar types of women. Typically, when you have these marriages where, the man and women get married, they have kids, and then the man feels a need to go down to his man cave all the time to get away from his wife and kids, it's because more than likely the man and the woman were not in an emotionally good place or mentally good place when they got married, and they were in a codependent relationship. Maybe the issues stem back to their childhood. Maybe they both have unresolved issues, and that's where this guy says here. And from what I've seen, stable attracts stable. And that also means people that are unstable attract unstable people, right? It's what they're familiar to. Like another coach did a video one time. Another great coach. I haven't followed him in a while, but I used to follow him. Coach Craig Kennett says, like attracts like, or we are attracted to the familiar. We are. But if you're an unstable man and you attract an unstable woman and you get together, by way of a codependency thing, this is why these things happen. You get married to try to offset those instabilities you both have, but they never go away. The underlying issue never goes away. Then you have kids, and then, after that happens, you feel like you want to get away from your wife that you're living with and your kids that you have with your wife. You want to get away from them because you never really wanted it in the first place. That's what happens. Your entire pitch basically boils down to it is better for everyone else if you're husband material and you haven't really outlined that many gains the man himself experiences firsthand. All right, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but what does a man gain from marriage? happiness, companionship, a best friend, someone to grow old with. Isn't that good enough? Because there isn't any, so nobody can list them. Oh, there are plenty of games. Now, these are just some very bitter and insecure people that have unresolved issues probably stemming back to their childhood. The only ones they can list are shared and benefit others more anyway. People love what good men provide others. They do not love the good man himself. All right, I'm not going to sit there and listen to this crap. This is probably a guy, the Meat Lord. This is probably an angry, bitter, and jaded man that's been through divorce or had a bad breakup and can't get over it because the real issue stems back to the way he was raised. He has unresolved issues stemming back to his childhood. And that's why I created the emotional support group for men and women, because guys like this need our help to help them work through those underlying issues that were created by the way they were raised in a broken household. All right. I think that's where I'm going to kill it right there. We're at 1 hour and 50 minutes. Let me go back to full screen here. All right, get your questions, comments, and concerns in, folks. We'll be going off the air in just a few minutes. I guess Dion got busy again. Not a big deal, bro. We can talk another time. I was going to mention something, but I'm just not going to mention it. I'm just going to wrap things up. Had a great day today. Did a great stream in the park earlier if you missed that. And you want to check it out. That stream is on YouTube only. If you're on Facebook and be live, come over to my YouTube channel and subscribe, dang the bell, select all notifications. Go to youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. I've shared the link to my YouTube channel in the description section of Facebook and also in the chat of D Live. Check out that stream. It's pretty interesting. It's an hour and 20 minutes long if you need some more content. Great topic here tonight. Hopefully you folks learn from it. The point of the matter is this. Sexual attraction is either there when you first meet someone or it's never going to be there. If it's not there within the first seconds or minutes of meeting that person. You try to find out. You go for the kiss. It's not there. Nice meeting you. Best of luck to you. Get on out of there. Save your time. And they can save their time too. So you both can go out there and find someone you are attracted to. I'll be back tomorrow, folks, for maybe 1 or 2 more streams. Please join the subreddit. Genuine emotional support for men and women. The link is below in the description of YouTube. About a couple lines down. I shared the link in the Facebook chat and comment section, and it's also been shared on D Live. With that being said, have yourselves a great night. I'll see you all tomorrow. Next time, take care. Bye.